More than 400 lawmakers from 34 countries back Make Amazon Pay campaign.
Here's a summary of the article.
3-minute read. London, more than 400 lawmakers from 34 countries have signed a letter to Amazon.com Inc. boss Jeff Bezos backing a campaign that claims the tech giant has dodged and dismissed debts to workers, societies, and the planet, organizers said. The Make Amazon Pay campaign was launched on November 27, the annual Black Friday shopping bonanza, by a coalition of over 50 organizations, with demands including improvements to working conditions and full tax transparency. We stand ready to act in our respective legislatures to support the movement that is growing around the world to make Amazon pay. Amazon, the world's biggest retailer, has faced criticism for its tax practices before, including in the UK and the EU. It says its profits remain low given retail is a highly competitive, low-margin business and it invests heavily. Amazon grew rapidly during the pandemic, with sales soaring as restrictions to prevent the spread of the coronavirus closed bricks and mortar shops and sent consumers online. The European Union, for example, last month charged Amazon with damaging retail competition, alleging it used its size, power and data to gain an unfair advantage over smaller merchants that sell on its online platform. Amazon disagreed with the EU assertions, saying it represented less than 1% of the global retail market and there were larger retailers in every country in which it operated.
This post received a score of 7,000, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Guess Amazon has to buy 400 lawmakers.
Others who've purchased this lawmaker have also purchased.
I hope they succeed. Amazon is a human rights nightmare and their execs have skirted justice for too long.
Boycott Amazon.
Considering how universal AWS has become, that is impossible if you plan on still using the internet.
AWS and Amazon Marketplace are two big giant separate branches. I used to work for AWS and it was only 10% of their overall revenue. If you really think AWS is worth boycotting too, you can also try and sway companies who use them, but then you gotta boycott companies like Netflix and Apple. Not only that, but AWS always tends to offer the cheapest solutions of the big three. It just also happens to be the most complex and least user-friendly. 10% of revenue but 70% of profit. The people posting the hopelessness of boycotting Amazon are still missing the point. The fact is people on Reddit constantly bash Amazon's business practices and then continue to shop there daily and pay for Prime and enjoy their 2-day shipping of products they can easily buy elsewhere. All of my local grocers have platforms to order and pick up, so I don't use Amazon Pantry anymore. Azure is certainly more expensive, but it is so much less of a headache than dealing with AWS. I was an Amazon customer since 2004. Where I would maybe place 1 to 3 orders a year that became over 50 a year by the 2010s.
Strangely enough, Microsoft seems to have become one of the good companies in tech. Never would have believed that if you told me 20 years ago.
That's because they are in third place.
Why just Amazon? Make all large corporations pay the taxes they supposed to, and support their workers as they supposed to.
The problem isn't them not paying taxes they're supposed to. The problem is that the tax codes of most countries are based around liberalizing trade with other countries and imposing taxes and burdens on its own citizens and companies doing business in their country. Taxes are generated from employing people, point-of-purchase sales, resource extraction, profit, and individual taxes. In the case of Amazon, they paid $5 billion in taxes last year in the US. They've paid other taxes before, but it's the first time they've ever had to pay taxes on their profits.
First I heard of Canada's proposed digital sales tax. Sure, companies will be paying this, but in essence they will just be forwarding taxes paid by the consumer. In other words, Netflix will collect more dollar from the consumer and pass it on to the CDN government. Not taxing the company.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.